Good evening. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to SOQI night. Spring is in the air, and that means for people that are interested in detoxification that it's spring cleaning time as well for your body. Now, we know in spring it's usually a time when most of us do our cleaning in the house. But it's also traditionally used for cleaning out the body. So I'm going to share some stuff from Stephen Horn and myself about detoxification. After winter, we're usually, especially those of us living in colder climates, we're typically less physically active. Before there was modern transportation, people back then, their dietary choices were very limited. They didn't have much access to fresh fruits and vegetables. And their diets were mostly animal proteins, fats, and oils, and heavy starches like grains and potatoes. Unfortunately, many people in modern society continue to eat this way. But spring brings lots of green plants and lots of buds, and we look at the plants that emerge in spring. We appreciate them. Many of these plants weren't just thought of as food, but they were considered spring tonics, and many health benefits the people back then attributed to these herbs. These herbs were believed to thin the blood, invigorate the circulation, and prepare the body for summer after the heavy winter of inactivity. So example of these herbs, and you'll see them in your yards, the dandelions, the red clover, the nettle, which we talked about last month, which was really good for allergies. That comes out in the spring. Cleaver, sassafras, docks such as yellow dock or sheep sorrel, lamb's quarters, goosefoot, raspberry and strawberry leaves, young garlic and onion greens, and the mustard family plants like watercress, shepherd's purse, and peppergrass. All these things come out in the spring after the dormant winter. And many of these plants are known for their cleansing property because they promote blood and lymph flow, and they tend to flush the kidneys and the liver, which works really great with the SOQI products because the SOQI products are all about promoting circulation. The chi is all about promoting lymphatic movement. So spring's a perfect time of year to coordinate SOQI with cleansing. Also, these herbs, we all know that greens can alkalize the body, reduce inflammation and pain and irritation, clean up your skin conditions, enhance your immune system, and just make you feel really invigorated and well. There's many different ways to detox. In springtime, many people consider fasting. It's actually one of the oldest methods of cleansing the body. In a long time ago, fasting in the spring may not have actually been really voluntary. It may have just been a way of life, running out of food after the winter and waiting for things to come in and bloom. So fasting also mentioned in a lot of spiritual references and religion. Many people 40 days fast, but those weren't total fasts. So adopting this type of fast, and you even hear now a lot about intermittent fasting. So some of the wild spring foods that are really beneficial, and some of my favorites, I'm just going to list a couple of my favorites. Dandelions, I love dandelions. They really focus on the kidney and the liver. They're super nutritive, not as nutritive as alfalfa, but they're super nutritive. And stinging nettle, which I think works wonderful for allergies. Chickweed also helps, as a binder and everything for digestion. We have a lot of the mustards, a lot of clovers, which also, again, we're looking at the lymphatics and the kidneys. You can also pick up some spring tonics from the grocery store as well, like beets with greens. I juice those several times a week. We've got asparagus. Asparagus is really great for the kidneys. When I was in naturopathy school, one of my instructors said that he takes a gallon of distilled water and a bunch of asparagus, cleans it, chops it up in 1-inch pieces, and simmers it in a gallon of water. Then he drinks that gallon of water. And that's very cleansing and very nutritive to the body. And then he eats the asparagus. So I have developed a ritual of doing that. If you've never tried it, I recommend it. A gallon of distilled water, a bunch of asparagus, chop it in 1-inch pieces after you clean it and let it simmer and then drink the liquid. I love it. Super sweet and very good. There's also radishes and rhubarb, which are very bitter, green onions, also known as scallions, kale, mustard greens, collard greens, and Swiss chard. I eat a ton of these foods. I love kale. I'm always making kale and bean soup. I love collard greens and parsnips. So I'm always eating lots of greens. And you can juice with these as well. So you can make a batch of fresh juice every day using whatever fruits and veggies that you like. You can even look at some apples, carrots, celery, and beets. You may want to throw in a little dandelion greens or kale or Swiss chard. You can also add powder herbs like nettles, wheatgrass, barley, spirulina, or the whole food green drink. I do a lot of juice and a lot of tonics. I love smoothies and juicing. So I use a lot of fresh or frozen berries, mangoes, pineapple. I freeze my greens. I typically have kale and spinach in the freezer. So berries make great smoothies. They're full of antioxidants: blueberries, raspberries, strawberry, pineapple, papaya, mango. You can also add some greens to it, such as cleavers, chickweed, dandelion, or beet greens, again, or add some powdered greens. You can also fast, because studies have been done and consistently show that the only way to prolong the life of lab animals is to reduce their caloric intake. And that's why so many people practice periodic fasting, because it not only makes you healthier, it can also extend your life. So given the high calorie, nutrient poor diets of most Americans, a modified fast, which is abstaining from certain foods rather than a total fast, works best. So if you're thinking of doing a fast, don't cut everything out for 40 days. I think that's just crazy, but give up all the processed foods, canned foods, prepared foods, and all heavy calorie foods like red meat, poultry, cheese, vegetable oils, refined sugar, and starches. Consume a diet of lots of low-calorie, nutrient-dense foods like low-starch vegetables and fruits, fish, eggs, and fermented dairy foods for protein, grass-fed butter, coconut oil, olive oil, high-quality, healthy fats. And this fast gives your digestion a rest, and it also helps with chronic inflammation, reducing aches and pains, and provides the body with nutrients it needs to repair damaged tissue. If we don't eat nutrient-dense food, our body doesn't have what it needs to work with to keep us healthy. Juice fasting is another form of modified fasting that many people have found beneficial. That's completely a liquid diet. I tend not to do those. I'll tend to do a green drink and maybe something a little edible with it, like some nuts or whatever. But there are people that do juice fast. If you have a juicer, you can make your own juice, and they can be fresh or frozen. When you're fasting, especially if you're doing juice fasting or partial fasting, you should always drink 6 to 8 glasses of water a day. If you're constipated, make sure that you take something to keep your colon rolling. And also, if you feel lightheaded or dizzy, add some protein powder to the juice or smoothie, or add a high quality fat. Sometimes I'll throw an avocado in or a scoop of coconut oil, and that will help you. The hardest part of the fast, or changing your diet, giving up these heavy foods and these processed foods, is really the first 3 days. If you can make it that first 3 days through the craving, the headache, the tiredness, whatever happens to you, it gets easier because your metabolism adjusts and resets. So think of that, if you're going through it and you're not feeling really well. And that's why they call it breakfast, because every morning when you have breakfast, you are actually breaking a fast, and that's where intermittent fasting came in. So you want to listen to your body and discontinue the fast whenever you feel like it. When you decide to go back on solid foods, if you gave them up, or you plan on introducing more processed foods back in the diet, don't go eat a heavy meal immediately. Implement these different foods slowly to help that. And then there's also many people that want to do springtime cleansing, colon cleansing product that you can buy from a supplement company, and those are fine to do as well. But I also suggest, if you're going to do those, to clean up your diet, because it doesn't make sense to try to cleanse and then keep feeding the body a bunch of junk. So one of my favorite cleanses I do myself is I'll take liquid chlorophyll, psyllium hulls, and aloe vera and have a drink every morning, and that keeps lots of fiber in me. You know, our body detoxes through 5 means: our bowels, our urine, our lungs, our lymph, and our skin. And the liver plays a significant role in cleansing our blood. A healthy liver not only filters toxins and unwanted byproducts from the blood, but it also pulls nutrients from it to deliver to the body. So the liver has a huge job. It breaks down waste into relatively harmless substances, then it releases it from the body. If you don't have a healthy liver, you know, it's really going to be hard to stay healthy because it has such a big job. So when you're feeding your body, I want you to think that your liver is like, you know, a really nice racehorse or a best car or an expensive house or whatever, because that's what you're feeding. And then the kidneys also remove toxins and waste. They're like a natural filtration system for the body. Their job is to remove waste, toxins, and water from the blood. And then the kidneys even have to cleanse themselves when and if they have enough water coming in. So giving the body a lot of hydration, a lot of nutrient-dense foods really takes a load off the kidneys and the liver, and that's going to really give you a great life. And that's why I love SOQI when it comes to so many things about health, because we're coming into spring and it's all about getting energized. Everything's waking up. We want more well-being. We want more vitality. So we're waking up the body after the dormant winter. And the SOQI products can assist you during this transition of every season, of every day, of every month. I mean, we're fortunate to have these that we can purchase for in-home use as wellness products to help us sustain our wellness. When I look at the Chi machine, it's motion energy, it's passive aerobic exercise. Anytime you move the body, you're promoting lymphatic movement, oxygenation, and circulation. The thermal energy of the dome locally increases your circulation, but it also warms you up from the inside out, creating thermogenesis, having your metabolism kick in, which helps your body further clean out with lots of things the body produces for inflammation and supporting healthy systems. You want to make sure your body's nervous system's communicating well with its organs and its gland, and its miles of pathways, and the ERE does a great job of that with its electrical stimulation. And the E-Power acts as the battery charger for the body, promoting balance. That's why they tell you when you use these products, start off with the E-Power, give your body the energy it needs to do this, shake and bake it with the Chi and the Dome, and then use the ERE to make sure everything's functioning. So think about cleaning up the body, giving it a little bit of a rest after all those heavy foods of soups and chilies and casseroles that we've eaten all winter long, and sweets as we make it through the holiday from Thanksgiving to Christmas, and then we just had Easter and Passover. So remember, if you're a distributor, please put your distributor ID in the comments, like and share this video. And the special starting now is the Chi machine for $465 through the 17th, which would be Monday. So thanks for watching. I hope everybody had a happy holiday with the past holidays last week. I hope everybody's doing well, and I hope everybody's going to consider to take a little load off the body and let it refresh itself and re-energize. And remember to use your SOQI products each and every day. Thanks.